Go runner.
Yo, it's your boy Casual Real with the Silent A podcast. And man, we back with another one and a quick one at that. We're just going to do a quick fight reaction, what we just saw as we just hopped off the live stream, the live commentary, the live blow by blow, the live scorecards. As many of you had seen that tuned in with us and rocked out with us, you know, it was a hell of a fight, hell of a war. We saw the knockdown in the 11th round. We did score it all the way through. Benavidez did get that unanimous decision that he deserved. He earned that. He got that. He is the man in the division right now as he gets ready to take on the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. But let's talk about the action tonight, right? Benavidez, showed the levels, showed the pedigree, showed the stamina, and showed the cardio that he had in this match. He always had this advantage in this case. We already knew that that's what he was going to do, correct? We already knew that he was going to be the man in the division that can wear you down and drag you into deep waters. But tonight it showed. Tonight he was on full display. He can take a punch. He's got a hell of a chin, and he's got a hell of a heart. But let's talk about the off placement that happened in the 11th round. Yes, he got knocked down. And I know there's going to be other podcasts, other people talking about that knockdown as much as we are as well. I don't read too much into that knockdown, as well as I will say this. It's been well known. We have all known that David Benavidez has had terrible foot placement. He's always off balance. He stands up straight, and he throws his punches straight up. His corner throughout the fight tried to tell him that throughout the pay-per-view telecast, that stop standing straight up and start throwing his punches. He throws arm punches. That's what he does. He's a straight-up fighter. That's how he got caught with his first knockdown. But in the fight tonight, he got caught in the 11th round doing the exact same thing. He was caught off placement and caught off guard. And he tried to catch himself. And yes, when your gloves touch the canvas, that is it. It is over with. But what we will say and what we will read from this is one thing. David Benavidez cannot afford to step to Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol with that same game plan, with that same foot placement. It cannot happen. It should not happen. If he does that, they will pick him apart. He needs to work on that. That is his biggest flaw and has always been his biggest flaw. And it will continue to be his biggest flaw until, again, obviously they work on it. I know he's got a hell of a coach in his corner with his dad, Jose Benavidez Sr. But with that said, man, he just needs to work on that. But all in all, this was a fight of the year candidate. Fight of the year candidate. And in fact, the entire pay-per-view card was actually decent. We don't agree with the pay-per-view. The price that they've always put this in, we do believe PBC milks the pay-per-view cost to make people buy and get into that. But with that said, it was decent money, hard-earned money, well spent. We saw a knockdown in the 11th round of the main event. We saw both men going back and forth. And to be honest with you, I thought either of those two men were going to go down at any point past the third round. They both looked tired. They both were throwing hell of a shots. They both were putting it all on the line, and they both gave us an entertaining fight that we wanted to see. At the end of the day, that's what we wanted to see. That's the war we wanted to see. That's the violence that we talked about. That's the heart that we talked about. That's what makes boxing great. Tonight is what we saw tonight. That is what we want to see going forward for all events. Now, I would rather have seen this, event free. I think it would have did better as a free event or a lower pay-per-view cost because it could put more eyes on the sport of seeing such a great event. But with that said, we're past that. They need to show the highlights, show the full fights. They need to take a page out of the zone, take a page out of Ring Magazine, take a page out of Turkey Al Sheik, and show the fight immediately. Tomorrow morning, it needs to be plastered, full fight, PBC's YouTube account. Let everybody see it. That will get you prepared to potentially maybe buy the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Maybe you can get some more people to actually buy into that fight now that PBC has put on a successful card. But with that said, we saw a hell of a fight. We saw some warriors tonight. We saw two men lay it out on the line, and not just two men. Everybody that fought on the card, from the undercard up to the main event, everybody showed up. Everybody showed out. The lowest point of the night was probably the Jason Rosario fight taking on Ramos Jr. We all knew how that was kind of going to go. We knew Rosario just didn't have it. He looks like he doesn't have the feel for the sport anymore. And we always knew his body was just susceptible to, damage, susceptible to weakness, susceptible to get hit, and susceptible to get taken out. And that's exactly what happened tonight. He got wore out. He got taken down. He got really outclassed in that fight, and it showed that he did not want to be there. He was not someone that was willing to go the extra mile to try and win this event, to try to win a boxing match tonight. We saw that. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's what we saw. That's what happened. And it's neither here or there. He did what he had to do. He walked out safe. Like, that's good enough, right? But with that said, everybody else that showed up tonight, especially the Pitbull Cruz and Farrell fight. Pitbull Cruz and Farrell laid it out on the line and gave us another fight of the year candidate fight on the same card. That's the second one. First one, obviously, Benavidez taking on Morrell, and then Pitbull Cruz and Farrell started that fight the fastest I've ever seen a fight start. They gave us true Mexican style fighting. Pitbull Cruz is a household name right now, and he gave it to us. He gave us a good fight. He gave us a good scrap. I didn't think it was as wide as the judges had it. I thought Farrell actually stood a chance in there. I think he only lost about 2 or 3 rounds. But even with that, he still showed up. He still brought the heat. He still, didn't back down. He didn't just show up for a paycheck. He showed up to fight, and he gave us a hell of a fight, a hell of a war. And then you've got, Fulton Figueroa. Now, that's the one that we thought was going to be the fight of the year candidate. The fight, the one that steal the show tonight, if anything was going to steal the show from the main event. And it didn't. But it didn't because it wasn't good. It didn't because the other 2 fights that we just mentioned were that much better, that much stronger, that much more entertaining. That speaks to the value of the card that we saw tonight. Shout out to PBC. Again, don't agree with the pay-per-view model that's been running. I'll keep saying that over and over and over. But what I will say is this. Luckily enough, that card tonight showed up and showed out. Those fighters showed up and showed out. And I hope they get some money on the back end. I hope the pay-per-view did well because they deserve a check. All of them do. They deserve some of that money. They laid it out on the line, man. Laid it out on the line. But the reason we're back here for this video, quick reaction, and get a second, I'll grab the phone real quick. We're here to talk about, the reaction, obviously, to the knockdown, what we took from it. We covered a little bit earlier, but I didn't take much from the knockdown. I just take it from the common, sloppiness from Benavidez. He's constantly doing that, constantly standing up straight, constantly, getting in his own way. That was the knockdown. That's what happened. Right or wrong, it is what happened. And I wouldn't take too much from that. He did what he had to do. He got back up. He wasn't hurt. It was clearly off balance. The off balance shots, we told you before, if any knockdown did happen, it would be from a flash knockdown, a quick knockdown, an off balance shot knockdown. And guess what happened in the 11th round? Now, I didn't predict that, but in the 11th round, that's exactly what the hell happened. An off balance shot, an off balance knockdown. It is what it is. But what we will take away, as we started against earlier, is this. David Benavidez cannot afford to do that at much top tier talent. Who am I talking about? Arthur Beterbiev and Canelo Alvarez. Because we think Beterbiev. I'm going ahead and give you now our early prediction. We'll do a 3-minute fight drill, 3-minute breakdown for the Beterbiev versus Bivol 2 fight. But I think Beterbiev is going to win the rematch. I think he's going to be healthier. I think he's going to be stronger than what he was in that first one. And it will show. But let's say this, Beterbiev and Bivol or Canelo. Any of those three would have exploited some of the footwork that we saw from Benavidez tonight. Especially that knockdown. Not that Benavidez was hurt, but they would have exploited that and kept pushing it. There would have been a couple more knockdowns, especially for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is good with his shot placement, good with his counter punching. He would have exploited that exact weakness, especially once he saw it happen that late. Yes, he would have took advantage of that and knocked that boy down. That's all Benavidez has to do, in my opinion, is clean that up, clean up his footwork, clean up how he moves. That is it. If he can clean that up, he can bang with them boys. Now, he does need to fix his arm punching. I don't think his power carried up as well as many think it should have at the 175-pound division. And for me, it's strictly because he does a lot of arm punching. He just swings with his shoulders. He swings with the shoulders. You see his punches are wide. You saw it tonight. Wide punches work great when you're hooking, when you're hooking off to the body, hooking off to the head, that kind of works. But when you need to go straight down the pipe, the shortest distance is a straight fucking line. And it also happens to deliver some of the strongest power of anything. When we deliver power, it's just straight physics, right? You go down a straight line, you deliver your force, get it right there. Speed. The speed adds to the power. When you have to loop it, it takes away. Unfortunately for David Benavidez, that's where he's been. That's his style now. And it's got him here. So there's no knock on him. I'm just saying, because the way he punches, because the way he does his arm shots, that takes away from the power, especially at the 175-pound division. But at 168, he was able to weigh on people like that. At 175, he's going to have 12-round fights. I don't think he's knocking anybody out in the 175-pound division like that. No one in the top 10, top 15. Now, with that said, I think he beats a lot of them. I think he'll have a hard time against Beterbiev, especially if he's healthy and bringing good power. I think Bivol will give him fits, but I think he would beat Bivol by the outwork and the pace. I think Bivol, he won't respect Bivol's power coming back to him, so I think he'll walk through that. We saw tonight that when he does have a puncher that's, you know, coming back at him, that's giving him something to think about, he won't maul them to death. You know, he tried it a few times and he got caught tonight. And he got, you know, and Morrell earned his respect in there. Morrell showed, you know, he belonged. He got a lot of things to work on for sure, but he showed that his power did carry up to 175, and it's clear that Benavidez felt it. I think Benavidez will struggle with anybody who has good power and good shot placement. He needs to stay away from Benavidez at this time, unless, you know, Benavidez just doesn't look good and is old overnight, which could happen. My man's 40 now. Needs a shot. You know, has surgery. We will see. Canelo's a different story. Canelo has great shot placement and decent power. But Canelo's also 5'9". So he could probably maul him to death, but if he gets caught, you know, off foot, slew-footed like he is, and not placing his feet well, he will get caught. He will get hit with some flash knockdowns from Canelo Alvarez, and that's for sure, because Canelo Alvarez probably hits a little bit harder than Morrell. It's just that Morrell is taller and able to get his shots off a little bit better towards the head of Benavidez than Canelo would. Canelo will obviously work that body. But that's not why we're here today. We're not here to talk about Canelo. We're not here to do the full prediction on Canelo versus Benavidez. We will love to see that fight when it happens. And if it does happen, that'll be a hell of a spectacular event. But what we are going to wrap up here and wrap up quick, like we said, this is just a quick reaction to what we saw tonight. And we definitely appreciate everybody that came out for the earlier live stream. We did the live blow-by-blow scorecard for each event on the main event. Appreciate that. You know, hit that like button, comment below, and subscribe. Let us continue to grow. But the last thing we'll cover is this. Benavidez's road past this event is wide open. It's really open to who wants to fight him, because it's clear he will fight anybody. It's clear he will take on anybody, and it's clear he will travel down any road to make a fight happen. He's not scared of anybody. He's not ducking no smoke. Whoever wants to take him on, that's where he's going to go to, and that's who he's going to fight next. But the fight that he had tonight, it showed us a lot. It showed that he is a man to be reckoned with. It shows that he's a true fighter, and he's one of the realest fighters in our current time and current era. We appreciate everything he did tonight. It was a hell of an event. He did what he was supposed to do. He fought in the spurts. He kept Morrell on the back foot. He kept him against the ropes at certain times when he could, but it did show the weaknesses of the power, as Morrell was able to stand off and get his off too, and actually stumble and hurt Benavidez multiple times throughout the fight. Not to the point where Benavidez was going to be out in trouble, but to the point Benavidez had to respect the power and adjust his game plan. It was a great fight. Hell of a fight. What to take from this? He needs to be careful and tighten up when he's going to go against the other top opposition at 175. The way he punches does not carry true punching power for that division. So he will be a 12-round fighter in the 175-pound division. That is for shit sure. I don't see him knocking out Benavidez, Bivol, Canelo, or anybody else in the top tier for that division. Even Callum Smith at this point, who did move up from 168. But he can beat all those names with the right pressure, right shot placement, controlling the fight, controlling the pace, and more importantly, working on his foot placement and his footwork to make sure he does not catch another knockdown like he did in the 11th round. That could have got nasty. The other thing he needs to control is his emotions. In the round, I believe it was round 4 or so, he almost got knocked out. He tried to play it off. Benavidez almost got knocked out in that round when Morrell caught him with that short chopping left hand coming on the inside. He wasn't paying attention, and he was trying to just overwhelm the likes of Morrell. He needs to work on that, but that's something that's easy. That's easy. That's just discipline, right? And keeping his guard up. And he did do good for the majority of the fight. He kept that high guard, blocked a lot of shots tonight. But work on his emotions and work on that foot placement. There's no reason he should have hit that canvas in the 11th round. Honestly, he's going to go back and look at the tape and beat himself up. He got caught off guard. He got foot placement was wrong. He got hit, stumbled, tried to catch himself, and guess what? The gloves hit the ground, and that's a knockdown. Now, what I didn't agree with was the ref tonight. He took a point away from Morrell for hitting after the bell. He should have just got a strong warning, because they were both going at it. They were both going toe-to-toe, and this was right after the damn knockdown. And Benavidez was trying to get it back. He was trying to show, it was a flash knockdown. It didn't hurt him. And he was throwing punches and bunches towards the end of the bell, and Morrell was just trying to get him up off of him, and he swung. In the heat of the moment, he swung after the bell, and they took the point away from my man. In our scorecard, we kept that point because I did not agree with the ref. I still gave it a 10-8 round for the knockdown. But it is what it is. It's a PBC card. They showed love for their PBC fighter, meaning David Benavidez. Not that the ref had anything, to do with that or just say like he was being biased. Honestly, I think he was just being extra cautious because he did give them warnings in the back room and said no hitting after the bell. Make sure everything's clean. I got it, but man, use your logic in the ring. You could see it was a punch in the heat of the moment. That did, by the way, rock Benavidez. The biggest takeaway from the night, and we're going to wrap this up real soon. Benavidez has a heart. He has stamina, but the one thing he showed tonight, that brother has a chin. And he really is the Mexican monster. He ate a lot of shots tonight. He ate some clean ones. And when it showed visibly he was hurt, he came back and kept punching. He came back and kept throwing. He came back and said, I'm going to hold my end, my piece of the ring down, and didn't back down. That was a great fight, man. Fight of the year candidate. So was the Pitbull Cruz and Figueroa fight. That was a hell of a fight, especially in the first 3 rounds. That was some of the best goddamn 3 rounds I've seen. Those two gentlemen threw punches and bunches with no care for human safety. That was a true Mexican style fight. It was fan friendly, entertaining, and appreciative. The whole fight card was great. It was a good time. We appreciate all the love, man. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the live cast that we heard earlier with the fight card, the live stream, and everything, man. We appreciate everybody showing up for the reaction. Yo, hit that like button. Let us continue to grow. Subscribe, man. We got plenty of videos out there, and we got plenty of more to come as we're marching forward towards the Better Biv and Bivol 2. We're going to have our 3-minute fight drills for that as well. We got Caballel, Zhang, Dubois, Parker, and we got a couple of videos out already, man. Check them out. See our comments. See our point of view, man. We are casual fight fans, casual fight talk, and we just want to continue to grow, man. It's a hobby for us, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe. We're growing quick. We're coming strong. We appreciate all the love, man. And more importantly, hit that comment section. Let us know what you think. Need all the feedback. As always, man, it's your boy Casserole with the Sane Podcast. Hit that like button again. Subscribe. Until the next time, man, check us out. Peace, love, and happiness. We'll see you all out there. Peace.